We have 3 exciting stories for you to watch, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to remain ahead of the competition. Welcome to Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the fastest updates in Formula One. Let's begin. While it is an ambitious claim given the current state of the grid, where McLaren has been consistently outperforming the Red Bull cars, it is important to note that McLaren is far from stagnating. The British team has a well-structured development plan in place and is set to introduce a series of upgrades over the next few races, with some of these key updates scheduled to debut as early as the next round at the Miami Grand Prix. This past week, a number of reports suggested that Red Bull was preparing to introduce a major upgrade package for their car, an update that, according to internal sources, could potentially put them ahead of McLaren in terms of performance. The fact that McLaren has already begun assessing these upgrades under actual track conditions during the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix weekend and used the first free practice session to test a number of the components anticipated to be included in their Miami upgrade package is what makes their strategy so sound. In addition to testing a newly redesigned diffuser with significant modifications, particularly in its central section, the team also experimented with various updates to the floor side edges and introduced new aero elements distributed across various parts of the car. These changes are specifically aimed at optimizing airflow management and increasing aerodynamic efficiency, which is crucial for maintaining the strong pace McLaren has shown so far this season. What's even more impressive is how methodical the testing process was. During the session, McLaren fielded 2 distinct car specifications. Oscar Piastri spent the entire session driving the car with the new enhancements, while Lando Norris drove the standard version of the current car, the one used in the race. This gave McLaren's engineers a better understanding of the practical advantages by enabling them to collect direct comparative data under comparable circumstances. These changes could result in, although the current car has shown great pace when running in clean air, it still has some limitations when it comes to overtaking or defending positions against competitors with higher peak speeds. This is one area where McLaren is especially focused on improving top speed performance, especially when the car is in traffic. By improving the car's aerodynamic balance and straight-line efficiency without sacrificing cornering performance, the next improvements seek to remedy these shortcomings. McLaren is putting itself in a position to reduce risks for both drivers and constructors, in addition to preserving its lead in the current rankings. With the season still going strong and other teams like Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes preparing their own update packages, championship battles are still going on. It will be essential to stay ahead of the development race. Now, all eyes will concentrate on the Miami Grand Prix, where McLaren is anticipated to formally unveil these improvements under racing circumstances. Will these improvements be sufficient to maintain the team's top spot on the performance list, or will its competitors be able to close the gap and present a challenge? How well prepared and effective do you think McLaren has been so far this season in terms of car development, or do you think one of the other teams will make the breakthrough necessary to catch up and append the title race? As the Formula One development race heats up, please share your thoughts in the comments section and stay tuned for the latest updates. Since there isn't a race this week, teams throughout the paddock are using this downtime to analyze data, resolve problems, and try to improve their cars for the upcoming championship rounds. One team that seems particularly concerned about its current situation is Aston Martin, which has been struggling to score points consistently in the last few races. Let me ask you, are you disappointed with Aston Martin's performance so far this season, or did you already anticipate a difficult year for the team? While you're thinking about that, don't forget to like this video to support our efforts. We provide you with the most up-to-date information from the world of Formula One every day. Although Aston Martin is currently in 7th place in the Constructors' Championship, Alpine and the Racing Bulls have been catching up in recent races, which has raised some concerns within the team. Falling further down the standings could result in less money at the end of the season as well as harm to the team's reputation with its sponsors, which would put even more pressure on the team to avoid that scenario. Even though competing for wins and the podium seems unattainable right now, the engineering team hopes to determine where improvements can still be made and how to maximize the potential of the current car. According to reports, Aston Martin has scheduled an emergency meeting for this Monday. The meeting's main goal is to review the data gathered from the last 3 races in detail. An important point here involves Adrian Newey, who joined Aston Martin this season with great expectations surrounding his contribution. However, the team has made it clear that Newey will not be spending his time trying to fix this year's car instead. He is fully focused on the development of the 2026 project. The year when the new technical regulations will come into play, this leaves the responsibility of improving the current car entirely in the hands of the engineering staff that designed it last season. A tough challenge given the limited time and budget available for this year's development. The situation raises a difficult question for the team. How much effort should they continue to put into trying to improve the 2025 car if the performance doesn't show significant signs of progress soon? It is quite likely that Aston Martin will decide to abandon further development of this current project and fully redirect their resources toward preparing for 2026. With Adrian Newey at the helm of that project, focusing on the long term is even more alluring for Fernando Alonso at this time, because Aston Martin is already seen as one of the possible frontrunners for the new era of Formula One. In the upcoming weeks, we will learn whether Lance Stroll and the entire Aston Martin team will be able to turn things around this season or focus all of their energy on the future. However, what do you think? Do you still think Aston Martin has a chance to improve this year? Or do you think it would be wiser to abandon 2025 and concentrate solely on creating a competitive car for 2026? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below and check back here for more updates. Big news about Max Verstappen's future with Red Bull, or perhaps outside of it, started the day. If you want to keep up with all the latest happenings in Formula One, make sure to subscribe to the channel, where we provide you with daily updates with trustworthy, uncomplicated coverage. If you like these brief and educational videos, please remember to leave a like to support our efforts over the past few days. The underwhelming performance of Red Bull's current car and the evident struggles in resolving its ongoing issues appear to be the main reasons behind the increased speculation about Verstappen's possible departure from the team. According to multiple reports, the team is already considering potential replacements for him as early as next season. According to people familiar with the matter, Verstappen has been growing less confident in the team's engineering team's ability to produce a competitive car, which may eventually cause him to search for better opportunities elsewhere. Aston Martin is apparently one of the teams Verstappen is considering, particularly given that they have hired Adrian Newey as their lead engineer for next projects. As most Formula One fans are aware, Verstappen is under contract with Red Bull until the end of the 2028 season. If he were to leave before that time, he would normally have to pay a hefty exit penalty unless a specific release clause was activated. Newey's reputation as one of the most brilliant minds in car design has undoubtedly made Aston Martin an alluring destination for any top-tier driver looking for a new challenge. In order to protect both the teams and the drivers, Formula One contracts frequently contain clauses that permit early termination in specific circumstances without incurring financial penalties. However, according to information released by the race, what specific clause in Verstappen's contract would enable him to leave Red Bull without incurring the significant costs associated with breaching his contract? Verstappen's contract reportedly includes a performance-based release clause. It states that if Verstappen is not ranked within the top 2 positions in the Drivers' Championship by the summer break, effectively the midpoint of the season, he would be allowed to leave the team if he chooses to do so without owing any penalty. As of today, Verstappen currently holds 3rd place in the standings, just 2 points behind 2nd place Lando Norris and 12 points adrift of current leader Oscar Piastri. If the summer break were to begin right now, Verstappen would technically be in a position to trigger this clause and part ways with Red Bull. Of course, there's still a long road ahead before the season reaches its halfway point, and the standings can change dramatically over the next few races, but with the championship Being so tightly contested this year and several drivers battling at the front, staying in the top two won't be an easy task even for a driver of Verstappen's caliber. This situation leaves the door wide open for a possible change in the competitive landscape.